The PLI schemes that extended to the solar equipment that shows the importance of the solar energy sector in India's economic growth and the future for the environmental goals that make the solar energy sector booming is going to be a very necessary. And that's the reality, that the PLI scheme has been extended for the solar equipment, that it can be more of using those solar equipment, and that allocates almost 20,000 crore for the boost of this particular renewable energy sector. The solar equipment and solar energy utilization is a backbone of the renewable energy equipment, and the investment in the renewable energy sector is based on the solar equipment, and PLI scheme is extension. The 19,500 crore to boost the manufacturing of the solar modules under the government flagship production linked incentive scheme, and the scheme has the potential to create 16 lakhs new jobs and the additional production of 30 lakhs crore jobs and during the next 5 years. To facilitate those domestic manufacturing for the ambitious goal of 280 gigawatt of installed solar capacity by 2030, the additional allocation of 19,500 crore for the PLI for the manufacturing of high efficiency modules with the priority to fully integrate the manufacturing unit to the solar PV module that will be made, and the major push that toward the solar power and the energy efficiency, that the allocation of those additional boost in the manufacturing of the solar modules that shall provide the significant growth to the module manufacturing industries. The solar energy capacity and the addition in the solar energy capacity in India that has been slower than expected. But one of the most challenges that in capacity augmentation in India that has been the import dependence on the solar modules, and the announcement of these PLI schemes that indigenous manufacturing of the solar photovoltaic cell and these modules that will not only ease the supply constraint but also promote the private sector investment in this renewable energy sector. The future of this energy sector is very bright, and the entire nation hopefully involved for promoting and boosting these solar energy and other forms of renewable energy sectors. And it is the important section for the part of the production linked incentive schemes, and this is eventually across 13 key sectors, and to create those national manufacturing campaign and to generate those opportunities for the country's youth to get employment, and those in the scheme that were introduced that cover those electronics manufacturing, automobile sectors and other auto components manufacturing, specialty in the steel, textile, drone and drone component, pharmaceutical, drugs and the telecom and the networking sectors. The government renewable push and the Pradhan Mantri Kishan Urja Suraksha এবং Utthan Moha this PM Kusum plan to provide the energy and the water security, and the farm sector that also generate the additional income for the farmers by producing the solar power, and that scheme for the farmers that consists of three main components. Component A, that is the installation of 10,000 megawatt of decentralized grid connected solar power plant, each of capacity up to 2 megawatt. The component B, that setting up of 20 lakh standalone solar powered agricultural pump, and the component C, that is the solarization of 15 lakh existing grid connected agricultural pump. The scheme's aim is to add 30.8 gigawatt of solar capacity with the central financial support of over 34,000 crore. The base of this learning and the business model for the level of the solarization that was included as a new variant under the component C, and the convergence of the scheme with the Prime Minister's vision for this agricultural infrastructure that fund also accomplished for this purpose, and the ease of availability of those finance, and the Reserve Bank has included the three component of the scheme that is under the priority sector, and the 5,000 megawatt capacity of small solar power plant under the components A, 3.6 lakh standalone solar pump, and under the component B, and the solarization of over 10 lakh grid connected pumps under the two variants of component C have been allocated in the various states. The production linked incentive scheme that the government has introduced, and the production linked incentive scheme for the national program of the high efficiency solar power modules, and that the 4,500 crores to support and promote the manufacturing of the high efficiency solar power modules, and the energy that including the upstage vertical component like cells, polysilicon ingots, and many other important parts to that is reduce the import dependency in the solar photovoltaic sector. The tender for invitation for the manufacturing of those high efficiency the solar PV modules was to facilitate the large scale the grid connected solar power project. The scheme for the development of solar park and the ultra mega solar power project, and that provide the solar power developer with a plug and play model by facilitating the necessary infrastructures like land, power evacuation facilities, road connectivity, and water facility, along with the world with the fabric that far might have been needed by the scientist and the geostrategic expert, such that the geotheoretical construct and those have been presented by the sparsely by the electrical engineers and some expert, that the coexistence, interdependencies, and the cooperation that have been made for the fully domination and the conflict when it comes to sharing of resources in the energy sector mostly. And the International Solar Alliance is unique for many reasons, that the first intergovernmental organization that is headquartered in India, and there is no parallel to a similar even treaty-based IGO that is headquartered anywhere in the world, where the purpose of the propagation and the adoption of the technologies and the logically market, that's the case of solar energy, and that more importantly, as witnessed by the state intent of the organization, that is not the control of the technology but the universal promotion that becomes more affordable and simpler to deploy, to use, and to utilize those renewable energy, and the solar energy's equipment, and the importance of the solar energy that is day by day has been increasing, and for the country of like 1.4 billion people where these energies are very much important, the production of those energy, the renewable form of the renewable sources in the energy sector, that is very much important, that need the requirement of the 1.4 billion people in the energy sector can be fulfilled. The huge requirement of this energy sector can be ultimately, those expectations can be met using those mass production of the solar energy, using those PV cell and the government contextualization and those vision to create those International Solar Alliance body in India, and also the PLI scheme to boost those sector, the economy that will ultimately be the future of those renewable energy sector is very much appreciable, and this appreciation will be ultimately help to fulfill those target of renewable energy sector that is driven till 2030 to meet those demand in this renewable energy sector that is looking to. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.